The session is being recorded from this moment. Very good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. My name is Ashok Veda. I'll be the host for this webinar, this bootcamp. Essentially, we'll talk about data science career switch and how can you thrive in 2023, which is one of the hottest jobs in the market. A quick check. Can anyone confirm that I'm visible? My voice is clear. I do have a technical issue today. Yeah, okay. So if at any point of time, if my voice is not audible or breaking, just let me know. Yeah, of course. Eid Mubarak to everyone. Okay, wonderful. Okay, that's good. All right. So the session will be about 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then we'll have question and answer section. And I think most of you have your own questions related to your career choices in data science. I'll be more than happy to take those questions at the end of the session, right? In the meantime, you can always drop a question in the Q&A section. Use the chat box for acknowledging and use the Q&A section for mostly for questions, okay? Okay, very good. I see a lot of people from many different places, from Tunisia to Nepal to many other places. Welcome all of you for the webinar, from Egypt, from Morocco, from Ghana. Very good. All right, so, okay, maybe a quick brief about myself before we jump in. See, the net is slow. It's actually pretty slow. That's my LinkedIn profile. So, you can find an updated profile of mine in the LinkedIn. So give a very high level brief. I have 20 years of experience, predominantly worked in analytics, last 7 years into AI and data science, and close to 15 years into analytics. Right? I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started my first venture in Netherlands back in 2009 called Sportsquare, which is into sports analytics. After that, I have started several ventures, mostly into analytics, IoT. I'm currently founder and CEO of Rubix, which is an AI and ML company, which is an artificial intelligence solution company. We have a large set of clients. Many Fortune 100 companies are our major clients. I'm also very much involved into mentoring and teaching. So I have trained near to 25,000 aspirants in the field of data science AI in past 7 years. So through many different edtech companies, strongly associated with DataMites. I also work with NASCOM, which is an Indian government body, and many other bodies across the world in terms of mentoring and coaching in the space of AI and data science. So in a nutshell, I'm also a researcher in AI. My PhD thesis is into marketing using artificial intelligence. So I research, practice, teach, and also deliver AI and data science solutions. Okay, so I put my LinkedIn, so you can follow me there. We'll start with what is data science, right? I'm pretty sure you have seen this diagram many places. Okay, so what are questions you're putting on the Q&A? I'll answer at the last, okay? Currently, I'm going to focus on the bootcamp. So, data science, the term itself has started popping up. It's been coined in 2005 or 2006, roughly around that, but it actually started becoming into business in 2015, 2016, right? About 7 years from now, from 7 years before. So this is where most companies started looking at data science as a serious domain where they can use for their own business purposes, right? Before that, well, we have lot many fields. People used to say business intelligence is one of the fields. There's a lot of tools we use in business intelligence. Most of it have been known already, Tableau and Power BI and many other tools, etc., etc. There is also a division called business analytics. These are still there in its original forms, right? Which they do more data digging, more data mining, go into more deeper insights of the business. Before that, we typically call it as statistics. Statistics is a very old field. Okay. Statistics is a field where we analyze the data, come up with the insights from a very simple things, starting from mean, median, your sum, averages, to correlations, covariance, and hypothesis testing is a little advanced. But from the very basic things to advanced statistics, this is the field which really helped us to transform the data into valuable information. You don't find any business in the world which does not do a basic statistics and running a business. For example, even a very small shop has to know what is their sales and profit in last month or last quarter, isn't it? Without that minimum numbers, you can't really do a business. You can't call it as a business. So statistics is a field which is actually doing this work, right? Descriptive statistics is what we say. And what's more interesting about statistics, it's a very old domain. It is even before computers, even before electricity. One of the famous algorithms we use, naive Bayes, which is a text classification machine learning algorithm, very advanced one. The Bayes theorem, which is formulated by Thomas Bayes, is done in 1763 or 62, something like that. So a lot of statistical theorem we use on the current days, it's actually many centuries ago. So statistics is a very old field, okay? From statistics, we started making more current fields, which is business intelligence, which is more about showing your graphs and reports and stuff of your business. Most of the businesses have their own established business intelligence tools, maybe Tableau, Power BI, someone build their own business reporting tools, okay? And then they have a division of a bunch of folks called as business analytics, who they actually dig into the data for more details. If you want to start a new venture, if you want to launch a new product, if you want to come up with a marketing strategy for pushing one of your existing products, if you want to decide whether to close a particular product line, right? If you want to decide to grow up, scale up your business, all of these requires a lot of analytics input, a lot of data-driven input for decisions. People don't just take decisions from their gut feelings. That is being supported by business analytics, okay? And with all this, in 2016, we got a new field called data science. So a simple question, what is data science and how is it different from its previous versions, which is statistics, business intelligence, and business analytics? You can also put data analytics and any kind of analytics over here. With all of this already existing, how data science is different, okay? Very good. Okay, so someone who is not currently, who just joined right now, they can always look at the recordings. I'm going to share the recordings. DataMites is going to share the recording, okay? And any questions you have, please put it on the Q&A section. Okay. Very good. So we have statistics, we have business intelligence, business analytics, data analytics doing different things. But the goal of all of these fields is pretty straightforward, is to convert the data into insights. Insights are summary where you can actually make decisions on that. Okay. I'm going to delete all of that. Okay, cool. So how data science is different? If you really look at what happened from, let's say, 2014, 2015, the data is not in the same format as it was before. The typical business data you see will be in rows and columns. If you have a order data, you have an order ID, whatever it is, right? Let me write it in more nicer way. You have order ID, you have, I don't know, what is the product name, and you have sales, and you have discounts, your address, whatever it is, right? It is nicely in a rows and columns. You have 100 customers, 1,000,000 customers. You basically have 1,000,000 records, right? This is what we call as a structured data. Okay, what do you call that? It's a structured data. It's nicely in a rows and columns. Most of the business data stored are actually structured even today. And we use a typical relational database management system. And we use SQL, which is structured query language, to get the information. I want to know what is the sale this month, right? What is the overall sales last month? You basically query the last month's sales and you sum it up. You say, oh, we got $1.2 million as the last month's sales, etc., etc. Fair enough, right? But if you see, things are getting more complicated nowadays. So you don't have just data in like that. You have data like, let's say, reviews. People are using images, emojis, videos, right? Your brand reputation depends on something which might actually go viral. If some customer has bad experience with you, he made a viral video, put it across. How are you measuring it? You cannot, because you do not have capability to look at the videos, social media, analyze the reviews automatically. You do not have that. All right. That's when the field of data science has actually become more relevant. That's the birth of data science. So it's about 2015 is what I say. The word itself is coined in 2006, but it really became business in around 2015. Okay. How is data science different? Well, data science is a combination of different fields. It's not one field. It's a multidisciplinary domain. Okay, what do you mean by that? Well, you do have our core domain, which is statistics, as you can see over here, right? Statistics is still the base for data science. We analyze the data. It's all coming from statistics, right? But data science also uses technology. For example, Python as a language. Nowadays, Python has become the standard. Anything you do in data science is mostly Python. From Python, you can analyze a lot of, you can analyze data more easily. A large scalable data can be analyzed, imported, analyzed much, much, much easier. Plus, you also have another amazing field called machine learning, ML. ML is a bunch of algorithms which can learn from the data. And it can predict. It's what we call it as predictive analytics, right? We're not going into details of it. Maybe it's a separate, different bootcamp for that. But essentially, when you look at the technology part, which is the second circle over here, it's a Python and machine learning, right? Python for, it's a simple programming language to do a lot of data manipulation. The same Python we also use for machine learning coding as well. Machine learning as a field is a mathematical algorithms which can learn from the data. It can do the prediction. These two things made data science really powerful. Because we use machine learning, we can also do analysis of what we call it as unstructured data. We know what is structured data. Structured data is simply a data in a rows and columns. Panel data is what we call tabular data. Unstructured data is everything which is not in that format, including your images, your videos, your free text reviews, any kind of electro signals. It could be even audio, whatever it is. All can be analyzed, processed, make sense using machine learning algorithms. Okay. And that actually made data science really powerful. And of course, there is a third circle where we call it as subject matter expertise. So essentially, it is what we call it as domain knowledge or business knowledge. What do you mean by that? Well, If you want to create a data science model, right, which can predict what we call it as a fraud analytics, a fraud transaction, right? If a transaction, a financial transaction, someone paying something from the credit card, it comes in, it goes to this model, and it will tell you whether it is a fraud or it is not. If it is not, it goes ahead. If it's a fraud, it's blocked for manual review, right? In order to develop this fraud analytics module, you really need to know how is the financial fraud happens. You need someone from this domain, let's say a researcher, a PhD, a researcher, someone who has 20 plus years of experience, for example, right? Specifically working on fraud analytics. They know everything about the financial frauds, how it happens, how it originates, what kind of formats. You need this person in your team. We call it as SMEs or subject matter experts to essentially contribute their knowledge, right? All these three together is what we call it as data science. So data science is a combination of three major fields. One is, of course, our traditional stats and maths, still doing that work, which is analyzing data, coming up with the insights. Second is technology part, where you have Python and machine learning, which can analyze massive amount of data, unstructured, structured, do a predictive analytics. And the third one is your subject matter expertise, which are people who have expertise knowledge on certain field. It could be a finance, fraud analytics. It could be healthcare. If you're working on some disease diagnosis, it could be agriculture. It could be manufacturing. It could be a retail. It could be anything. All right. So human resource, for example, you need a people who have worked in this domain for quite some time. Well, obviously, you will not find one person with all of these skills, because you cannot just become a subject matter expert by a year or so. There should be people who are working on it for decades, typically, right? That's why the intersection, what we call it as unicorn is a mythical creature. It never exists normally. So unicorn is something which we refer as data, the center intersection, because you always have it is almost difficult to find someone who has all of these skills. Usually, when you say data scientist, we are talking about the first two skills, which is maths and stats, and of course, Python and machine learning is what we call it as data scientist, right? And data scientists work with the subject matter experts in order to deliver data science project. So why data science is really popular? Because it uses technology, can handle any kind of data because of machine learning. And it also includes subject matter expert who are expert in that area, so that you can deliver an entire solution which can be used in your business. Okay. Any questions here? All right, good. So if you know questions, I'll just move forward. Now that you know what is data science, okay, so I'm not going into AI and machine learning. That's a different area altogether. So we'll host another bootcamp or sessions, which I go deeper into how exactly a machine learning algorithm works. All right. Now, is it a good area to switch, right? What are the prerequisites needed for it? Well, one good thing about data science is that there is no hard prerequisites. It is an applied field or applied domain. Essentially, you need essential Python, essential stats and math, and applied machine learning, which actually means you're not really writing any ML algorithms by yourself. You're basically using the existing ML algorithm in a packages as a Python and stuff, right? Because it's an applied field, you don't have to be master in any of this area. What you need to know is to actually get the required level of knowledge in these areas so that we can apply for our business purpose. It could be many different things. We have AI, ML, data science models in almost all the areas, from customer product recommendation to diagnosing diseases to finding the logistics best way to ship the trucks, to financial frauds, to recruiting people. So HR is using AI significantly nowadays. We have data science AI models which can tell the prospective recruits they are stable, they are more productive, they are good performers. We can actually predict it based on their academic profile and their professional profile along with the other factors. So you need to have a business knowledge, and obviously that comes from the client. And you need to have an essential Python, stats, and applied machine learning knowledge to become a data scientist, right? And all of these are applied knowledges. Typically, I would say it takes about 6 to 8 months. Nowadays, it actually takes 8 months, plus or minus, and about 20 hours a week to actually switch to data science career. Your current role and your current whatever experience you have counts. For example, if you already have 15 years experience, you're looking at someone at the heading a data science competence. If you're a beginner with maybe 1 or 2 years experience, you're entering as an associate data scientist or junior data scientist, contributing to the project core, core work at the beginning. All right. So based on your current experience and your industry, you land up in different roles within data science. But more or less, the preparation time to switch to gain the required skills is about 8 months. Good. A best approach. So this is where you have, how do you thrive in this area? You would be knowing that there are so many things happening in the market, like, for example, ChatGPT. Everyone is talking about ChatGPT. And I can show you right away. ChatGPT, the first question people ask, do you really have jobs in the market in terms of data science and etc.? Because ChatGPT can do many of these things. The answer is yes, we do. Of course, there is an impact of ChatGPT. I'll show you what exactly I mean by that. If you just open up any ChatGPT. Okay. So nowadays it has become a practice that most of the modeling is directly done by ChatGPT, right? The initial phase of it. 1 second, let me just get my charger. So my system is dying. Give me a sec. Okay, now it's powered up again. Okay, so let's say I want to develop a model which can detect breast cancer. Breast cancer, there is a standard data set. I can literally ask a ChatGPT something like this. Write, I'm going to just write something. Write a machine learning model with Python, all right, for classifying breast cancer using standard data set. There is a standard data set for breast cancer, okay? And I'm going to say further, right? I'm just going to click it like this, and you see that it already have done it. And it has used one of the best algorithms we use, which is called a support vector machine, SVM, and the algorithm name is support vector classifier. Most of the medical related, we use support vector machine, SVC, because it can do with the lesser data and with a lot of features, except the rest is detail. But I can start asking further. So I can say, could you also include, there is another algorithm, for example, I can say artificial neural network, and compare with SVM. I can literally ask it, and it's going to generate. You can see that there is a MLP. This is multi-layer perceptron classifier, which is a neural network. As you can see, it's from a neural network package. It basically does it both and actually compares it at the end, compares the ANN and compares the our support vector machine. So it's printing both of it. If you simply copy paste it, this particular thing works flawlessly. Okay. I just gave a little demo. How does, am I still audible? Hello? Yeah, I'm audible, right? Okay, good. Somehow my system is not really supporting me today. I don't know why. This is June. Okay. Very good. All right. So you have seen that without really minimal knowledge, we could actually generate a production level code from ChatGPT. And let me tell you, it is at par with it's at par with all of your. I'm going to just turn on the chat for some time. Okay. It's at par with a good developer. So if you have a good machine learning developer, the data scientist, the code written is at par. So what is the impact, right? How do you thrive in 2023, given that there is so much of technology changes happening? Let me tell you, data science as a field, right? Along with the machine learning and the other AI, along with the AI ML, the growth we have seen in last 4 or 5 years is about 60 to 70% year on year. Year on year, we have 60% to 70% of the growth happening from data science field, like number of jobs and number of projects and related, okay? In 2022, 2023, 2024, the predicted is actually around 80 to 90%, right? And it's actually gonna go at the similar level, it will be maybe more. What ChatGPT has done, it has increased the productivity of your data scientists and ML engineers. The work, which typically takes about 5 people, can be now done by 3 people. So which means about 30% or even more work staff can be reduced. So what most of the think tanks are predicting, including McKinsey and Forbes and even the World Economic Forum reports, what they're predicting is because of this productivity increase, the adoption of data science will also go up. So rather than having something around 4 million new jobs being created, you might think about 5.5 million new jobs. I will share the references of these numbers. It's one of these reports. I can share it once you can request for it. I can share the numbers, the references of this. So the number of jobs itself will increase, right? The requirement itself will increase. And of course, there is a dampening factor from ChatGPT where people can do with lesser people. So in overall, whatever it is, the number of jobs or the opportunities for data science and AI will thrive in 2023, 2024, 2025. Next 3 years, the jobs of data science, AI, ML has no way, it's no way it's gonna slow down. It's actually gonna be going up a bit because of the easiness of adoption. Now that less number of people can be more productive, it becomes more valuable for the business. And the businesses started adapting data science, AI, ML in a much more aggressive manner than before. So now that a lot of things are done by generative AI and ChatGPT, how exactly you position yourself? So let me give you that one piece of information, which might be the baseline of this entire bootcamp. There is certain things we can only do with human sense, or you can also call it as common sense or business sense. For example, I want to create a data science model which can predict employee attrition. So I'm going to say employee attrition probabilities. Attrition is people leaving the organization. So I'm going to ask you guys, what are the factors affect employee attrition? You can send it to me. I just switched off the chat because there's so many messages coming in, but you can send it to me. Less pay, as Rahul says. Yeah, the salary, the pay is number one, actually, I would say, right? And then you have, I don't know, work culture. and poor working conditions, right? And working from home it's still become a concern, isn't it? Then you have a lot of other things. Your academic profile, your marital status, for example, you'll be more stable if you're marital, if you're married, is what research says, right? There's so many factors. Do you think the commute time is a factor? Commute time, especially I live in Bangalore. For me, commute time is really important factor because, our infrastructure is not that great. So, so commute time takes a lot of it. Even not just Bangalore, most of the crowded city in the world has this commute time. If you are too longer from the office, you might probably find something near to your place, isn't it? So all of these factors has to come from your human sense or business sense. It's super difficult to assume that ChatGPT knows all of this. In fact, these are your just first high-level factors. This does not give you higher accuracy. Maybe it'll give you like 70% accuracy at the moment. Then you have to really dig deeper into understand how exactly the employee psychology is working. What are the real factors affecting? You might do a lot of survey. All of these are required to be done, and that is a major input for a data scientist. So if you want to put it simple, there is still a lot of work which requires human sense, business sense, or common sense, whatever you call, right? And that cannot be replaced by any generative AI, at least not in the next 10 years, okay? So if you want to thrive in the market, in the data science, it's not your Python skill or your machine learning skill which is going to help you. It is your analysis of as a data scientist. How can you come up with what we call it as features for the model? These are nothing but inputs for the models, okay? Your creative mind to do a better data preparation, right? In the same feature engineering, you also have derived variables. How do you do that? Ultimately, how can you create a model which adds high business value? All right? Also considering sustainability, etc., etc. So it's more about a business and business value and the features than technical. So people who are not technical, it's a good news for them because the world is moving towards more data and more business thinking and business analysis rather than how good are you in Python coding, because those things can be easily done by regenerative AIs like ChatGPT, etc. Okay. So in order to thrive in the 2023 as a data scientist, you really have to do a lot of projects. You can select an industry, if it's a healthcare or retail or banking or finance or HR, whatever it is, or if you want to be more generic, try to choose projects from all of this. You do a lot of projects, 20 plus, even more, right? You do an internship where you actually deliver real value to the business, right? And then you go for transition into a job. You're existing, working in other fields, then you're basically transitioning to a data science job, right? So doing more and more business projects, adding value to business should be your focus to thrive in data science, right? Of course, the other Python and machine learning and other things, but these things are going to get more easier over a period of time, okay? All right. Well, these are the different skills you need. The frequently asked question about how long it takes. Well, this is learning time, but I have to add another 3 months of your internship and projects time. So roughly, it takes about 8 months to get market ready or job ready. And as I said, I have trained nearly 25,000 people in the space of data science and AI in 7 years. I can confirm that this is an average time people take to transition to data science. And a lot of people ask, is programming skills mandatory? Well, you do not need to be a programmer because you don't really have to worry about complex programming structures, productive. So you just have to know the essential programming skills because you're using Python, mostly it's Python, as a tool to import data, manipulate the data, write a machine learning models. So you don't really have to worry about writing a production level code. You do a Python, like essential programming skills is good enough. For an absolute beginner, roughly 3 weeks to 1 month is enough to become good enough in Python for all of this. You don't need any programming background as such. You don't really need a computer science background. It's not even required as such. All right. So that's all the webinar. I have a lot of questions. Some of you actually put the questions in the chat box. I request them to repost this in the Q&A. I will take questions from Q&A now. Okay. Now let me look into the questions. All right. First question is from Suvam Gupta. What's the role of RPA in Rubix? Oh, it's more about Rubix. Rubix is into AI and ML mostly. We are not doing much of RPA. We have done 2019, 2020, we have done several projects on robotic process automation. It's essentially, we are very good at UiPath, which is one of the RPA tool, and we have implemented a couple of clients. But now we are more focused on purely AI ML solutions. How is AI related to data science? Okay, good question. AI is essentially a tool for data science. So we use it for predictive analytics. And then we have a question from Shanika. Business analytics, business intelligence adaptation. How these two terms are different? Okay, very good question. Business intelligence is more on operational level, which means you see your regular reports, like the monthly, weekly, daily reports for regular day-to-day decision making. And also, of course, quarterly reports, dashboards, bar charts, trends, everything. That's your business intelligence. It's more an operational level intelligence for you to make decisions as ongoing. Whereas business analytics is more about a project, a new thing you do, right? Also, it's used to analyze the threats, find new opportunities, find the root cause analysis. So business analytics is a little broader area where you use advanced statistical methods to find solutions to a certain problem or find the root cause or new opportunities or threats. So they are different as a field. BA folks typically do not use statistics as such. They typically use tools like Tableau, Power BI. Okay. Yeah, there is a lot of questions on certificate. It's a standard process within DataMites. After this webinar is complete, I think in several hours, you automatically receive the certificate in your inbox, in your email. If you do not receive for any reasons, which might happen because of your wrong email ID in our system, you could simply drop a message to care@datamites.com, then you will receive it within 24 hours. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so there's a question from anonymous attendee. Your explanation about data science roles show that there is no need for one to do data science if one has data analytics skills. Well, data analytics skills, if you have, just you need to add up machine learning skills and you should be good enough and you can call yourself as a data scientist. Okay. Now, that's the only difference. So because of the machine learning, you can do much more complex data modeling and also come up with the predictive analytics. Question from Omar. Is each meeting is different certification information or are the same words or the same? Oh, you mean the DataMites related webinars? They are all different. They are very different. Yeah. A question from Hailu. I want to get an understanding about data engineer and data scientist. Okay, so there is a webinar we have conducted before, but I can tell you very quickly. Data engineer comes at the first phase of data science projects. Their work is to aggregate the data from various sources. It could be from various databases, your data lakes or flat files or whatever it is. So you aggregate the data and you build data pipelines, clean them up, and then that is used by data scientists to build the models. So data scientist, data engineer role is more technical. There should be masters in database administration, as well as building pipelines to give access to other stakeholders from a data perspective, okay? Whereas data scientists actually build the model to solve the business problem. ML engineers can do the deployment of it. So once a data scientist has built a model, ML engineers can rewrite the model in a more production manner and deploy it. So ML engineers are more software engineers with machine learning skills. Data engineer are more database administrator, and they can actually create data pipelines to provide data to the data scientist. I have a lot of questions, nearly 60 plus, answered 34 already. I may not do all the questions. So whatever important questions, I will pick it up from it, okay? A question from anonymous attendee saying, sir, I have done bachelor's in computer science, completed 2 weeks ago, okay? Unable to figure out my interest, okay? So you basically juggling with front-end, cybersecurity, data engineer, data analyst, data science. So one thing I can say, all the fields you have mentioned there are very, very potential. I don't know how good are you in other, it's basically your own preference. All the fields are good. I'm going to suggest data science, but I also work very well in data engineer or cybersecurity. But cybersecurity is completely different area. It has a huge potential. If you want me to give an answer, I cannot give an answer. It's your personal choice. But what I can tell you, all the things you selected are very good career tracks. There are some repeated questions about certificates. I'm going to ignore it. Okay. Data science does not require an IT background. There's a question from non-IT background. That's one of my points I told. You don't need to be an IT professional for it. It is an applied field. You can gain the skills in a shorter time. R is okay, but it's more Python now. So everything is around Python. What formulas or systems can we get to calculate? I don't understand the question. Please paraphrase. Which programming language is more suitable for machine learning? It's Python. It's Python all across. 95% of the projects run in Python. All of your cloud providers, including AWS, Google, all are using Python as a core language. You can contact DataMites.com. It's roughly around $600, $700, I think. I don't know the actual price. So you can contact this 8 months program. Please don't take my cost because I'm not from DataMites. You can check with them. Yeah, so if you're bad in maths, it's okay. Yes, the answer is yes, because you don't really need to be good in math, but you need to be good in data and business. That's more important. All right. How long you think? It takes about 4 to 5 months if you're already good in analytics and stuff. Machine learning itself takes about 4 months. Which is more preferable in a job sector, data science or data analyst? Both are good. Data analyst is not a new job. It's been there for like almost 2 decades now, whereas data science is new, so 4 or 5 years in the market. So data science has more jobs and is less. If you learn machine learning and stuff, it's easy to get in, I would say. On the other side, data analyst has a lesser skills. You don't need a machine learning and stuff, but it's been there for quite some time. So you should have a mature level of knowledge to get into it. It's not saturated, it is a mature field. Okay. To simply answer your question, both are fine, but I would say data science because it's easy to get from my knowledge. How much it costs the overall course? I don't know. It might be around 700 for data science course. Yes. So what is the advantage of having a master's in data science, a certificate in cyber? Okay, so there are 2 different fields. Cybersecurity is a really, really upcoming field. And you see there is a plenty of jobs in the market because without cybersecurity, your businesses cannot actually sustain. Once there is a cyber incident, it really goes down. So cybersecurity has become one of the highly in-demand skills in the market. So if you are interested in it, you could pursue that. Moses, fresh graduate, I got enrolled for logistics company. Okay, this department's really overwhelming, getting confused to myself. Okay, good. So I don't know what's your question. Basically, I'm sure I'm ready to provide best analytics. It's a longer answer. So you need to first start learning data science and data analytics, right? You can ping me in LinkedIn. I can share you some resources for that. Yeah, there are internships through AI companies. Even Rubik's work with DataMites for providing internships. No, I just told this. No, it won't replace, AI won't replace data science job. It will be more productive. Yes, the number of people required might be less, but overall, the growth of data science job is not getting impacted, not what we see in the market. Data annotation is actually annotating data. So especially used for computer vision, you take an image and you basically say, this is banana, this is, I don't know, car or whatever it is. That's what we call it as data annotation. We also use it for simple structured data for labeling the data, called as data annotation. Random forest is essentially a bagging model of decision tree. So if you want me to tell, it takes a long time. So, but you can search for random forest model, and that's one of the typical model we use for classification. So we have a Jasim from Bangladesh, financial journalist, how to be data journalist without coding. You don't need to be coding. So you can pursue data analyst course. So it doesn't have any coding and it has all the other components. So again, the cost of the course, I have less idea. I would say between $700 to $800. I know this 3 months ago. So right now you need to contact DataMites. All right. Okay. SME is subject matter expert. So basically, the domain expertise. There is no hard prerequisite. OS, you could actually contact datamites.com for more details. Okay. Rahul has a question. Hey, Ashok, I've been working in mainframe developer. Okay, BFSI domain. Does data science good? Yeah, see, mainframe domain, I think it's a good switch. So you need to switch because that is going to be absolute very soon. So data science is a very good switch for you. Contact DataMites. They have a lot of connections for internship. Could you please share the recording? Yes, it will be done. Thank you for your good information. Thank you. How long it will take to learn Python? About a month. All right. So I still have 50+ questions and it keeps on adding. So I'm going to stop it over here. Any questions I haven't answered, I would request you to put it back in my LinkedIn. So I will take time and answer every single question which comes to my LinkedIn inbox. Okay. All right. For now, I thank you very much for all these questions and being very interactive. I enjoyed the session as well. I hope you had a good idea about how to pursue a career in data science in 2023. If you have any further questions and clarifications, feel free to reach my LinkedIn profile. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.